Now, as we celebrate Heritage Month in South Africa, the South African Rooibos Council has conducted a survey to establish what it is about this beverage that gets all of us excited, or at least some of us. Now, according to the Council's Nikki Forster, it's partly due to marketers of Rooibos consistently innovating and introducing new variants, new types to the market, and I guess that helps it grow into new market segments without, he says, sacrificing its essence. So let's explore that a little further. A very warm welcome to you. Firstly, why is the drink so popular? I mean, it's been around for a long time, hasn't it?
It has been around for a long time, and we've seen in recent years that it's really growing in popularity, and I think that's from quite a few perspectives. What the survey showed us was that I think more than 80% of people replied saying they drink Rooibos due to the health benefits. Whereas not too long ago, Rooibos was really a cheap alternative to black tea. So it's clear that health is a big drive. And then secondly, many people remember it as something they drank as kids. And, it's something that really brings back fond memories.
Never underestimate nostalgia, I guess, when it comes to marketing.
Yes, no, absolutely. And I think a big part of people also replied saying it's purely because of taste. So it's a healthy beverage that tastes well, and that's got a lot of other benefits that's coming out as we do more research about it.
You talk about these people, the consumers, the drinkers of Rooibos. Who are they?
Well, they really across the board. The survey we ran was across all age groups. It was an online survey, so you could actually target it to try and make sure it's representative. So it's all age group, diverse cultures. So we really got people that replied saying they drank it as a kid, they're now drinking it, men, women. And the interesting thing is it used to be a morning drink, but these days it's actually consumed throughout the day. A huge percentage of people saying more than 3 cups a day throughout the day, even as a nightcap.
Well, that's the bit, Nikki, that I found absolutely astonishing. A nightcap. I mean, come on, pull the other one. I mean, people are really using it as a nightcap. There are perhaps more interesting alternatives to that.
No, for sure. But I mean, that's what people said. It's a way to unwind after a stressful day. So clearly it's working.
I'm assuming that you would have conducted a survey like this because it's a highly competitive market. That's the hot beverage market. What was the reason for gauging sentiment?
Yes, I think we wanted to understand, from a Rooibos Council, we're really the custodians of brand Rooibos. So we don't link with a specific company. We look at brand Rooibos for South Africa, and we wanted to understand what changed. How's people enjoying Rooibos? We wanted to understand what's driving the popularity of Rooibos locally and globally. And I think one of the most interesting findings, at least for me personally, was to see how many alternative ways to drink Rooibos came out. A few years back, Rooibos was Rooibos. So you had it with milk and sugar. Or without milk. These days, you get a wide range of different ready-to-drink beverages, whether you're out there or at home.
Where is the risk in too much innovation, though? Surely you can have a basic product, but if you start putting too many variants around it, one, you stand the danger of confusing the market, but two, you also cannibalize your own success.
Yes, that is true, and I think that's why true marketeers are led by the market. So they don't just innovate for the sake of innovating. They really follow what works out there. And we know that these days, the younger generation want choice. It's a trend that started abroad, and it's slowly but surely filtering into South Africa, specifically in tea, black tea or Rooibos. So the old way of consuming tea, it's still the biggest, pure tea without milk and with milk. But they want choice. So these days, whether it's fruit infused or it's a latte or a cappuccino or with honey or chai, it's really driven from the market. So I think if you lose that connection to the market, yes, then you have a risk of giving consumers not what they want and confusing them. But as long as you're a market-facing business, you should succeed.
I'd forgotten about the Rooibos cappuccino, and again, it's delicious. You've also strayed into the alcohol space?
Yes, it's interesting that Rooibos these days are used, the craft gin industry is really growing, and it's used as a product to infuse gin, used in wine recently I've seen, also in cocktails. It seems like people are opting for more natural and more simple flavors also in that space.
Nikki, was there not a trademark issue around Rooibos some years ago? Is the name Rooibos now actually owned proprietorially in South Africa. I have a vague recollection
Yes,
of that. Yeah.
no, there was, and it's similar to the word champagne, which
Sure.
these days is, we can't use it. There was an issue, and I think that's one of the great successes of the council in protecting the trademark. We actually got it acknowledged by the European Union as a geographic indicator, which means a tea can only be called Rooibos if it's grown in a specific geographic area, which is in the Cederberg in the Western Cape and surrounds. So that's really a very good protection, and we're going through further work to try and strengthen that protection, both locally and abroad.
I can't help but wonder how much of the success of this particular product is purely based on price. I'm assuming that it is because it's completely local, grown in South Africa, and that much of the rest of the tea market is imported, and there are currency issues around that, whether people are perhaps not just switching simply to Rooibos because they can't afford other types of tea. Is that fair comment?
I think it used to be the case, but that actually changed in recent times. If you go right back to the history, the Dutch settlers that started to consume Rooibos as a tea did it purely because of price. Black tea was imported from Europe, very expensive, long transit times, and they started to use it. So for a period, Rooibos tea was really seen as the poor man's tea, if you can call it that. But recently, because of all the benefits that's associated with it, and that also coincided with the drought that we had that actually caused inflation because of availability, we've seen Rooibos become a premium beverage on shelf these days. It's probably selling at more than black tea. So I think it's grown out of that sort of price market into a real functional product. And that's used because it's Rooibos and not because it's competitive versus other beverages.
Okay, final one quickly. You're the expert here. What is the best way to drink it?
So I prefer it as it comes without milk, because then you really taste the product. I mean, there's many discussions of how you should brew it, whether tea bag first or boiled water first. The best way really is add the water first, add the tea bag, and give it 5 minutes to brew. If you have 5 minutes.
I sense you've done this once or twice before. Nikki Forster, spokesperson for the South African Rooibos Council. Thank you very much indeed. Now, I want to keep it South African as we finish the program this week with a brand new ad for the Apple Watch. People from around the world can be seen dancing to the Hokey Pokey, but it's beautiful Cape Town that hogs most of the attention. Now, we counted 10 different locations in and around Cape Town. Let us know if you spot any more. Until next time, goodbye to you and thank you for watching.